Hi, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Story Reckless. And I am Nathan. I am your DM for the evening. And we'll do some quick rounds of intros, and then we'll jump right into the recap of our current story. Yes, hello, Mara. So, why don't we kick it off to our first player, Claire?
I'm Claire. My pronouns are they, them. Shout out to Mara for this past Wednesday carrying the entire chat by herself for our most recent stream.
Yes, thank you.
Much appreciated.
I am player 2. My name is Olive. My pronouns are they, her, and I'm playing Lovelace, Centaur Barbarian.
Yeah, and with that, let us do a quick recap here of what has happened to our two characters, Lovelace and Quidam. Last week, you all, narrowly escaped death from a pack of gnolls. But after defeating them, you went through the bodies, discovered that one of them seemed to have some kind of medical components on them, and Lovelace, you recognized this gnoll had these strange grubs on them, which are colloquially known as mercy bugs, that for modern perspective, they kind of act like a morphine if ingested. And you were able to gather up enough supplies to have some uses of a healer's kit, essentially. But after this, you headed on down the road a bit tense. You briefly encountered the refugees that you had talked to earlier, and continued almost making it to Baldur's Gate. And on the night before arriving, something else came out of the darkness. A strange rat-like being, accompanied with large rats, almost like dogs, that they seem to be commanding. And they seem to just be a bandit. They wanted your things. However, this being recognized Lovelace and suddenly became very submissive and asked for forgiveness, saying they didn't mean anything by it. They didn't recognize you, didn't realize that who you were, and that you, and they backed away cautiously. Lovelace called out to try to get their name and who they were, but was not intimidating enough, and the figure just skulked off into the darkness. When the morning came, you traveled down the road, and as you went, you started to see other people traveling on the road, either going to and from Baldur's Gate. You started to see some farmsteads, a couple of homesteads as well, and eventually, as the sun started to go down and you came around a bend in the trail, you could see the ramshackle town of Rivington, and off in the distance, stretching across the river Keonthar, you could see Duskhawk Hill, one of the large landmarks that marks the kind of the outer border of Baldur's Gate proper. And as you approached the river, you could see the great structure of Worms Crossing stretching out before you, a massive stone bridge covered in numerous structures, all leaning in almost claustrophobically over the road. You could see people hustling and bustling down the street, trying to either get across the bridge or back to this side before the sun goes down. And there at the center of the bridge, a ways away from you, you can see this fortress-like structure built atop a pillar of rock rising up out of the river, with two drawbridges connecting both of these stone bridges on either side of the river. And as we pick up our adventure here, the three of you, Valor, Lovelace, and Quidam, standing at one side of the bridge, I will turn it over to both of you. What would you like to do?
Head across the bridge.
Okay. All right. As you start pushing across the bridge, and it is quite busy, you're having to push past all these various humans and other humanoids, and you can just get this intense smell of food wafting down the street. You pass by various vendors and you can see there's numerous halflings that have these stalls filled with various types of food and drink. Some of them seem to be slowing down for the evening, while others are just getting started, and you can hear raucous laughter, people shouting. And as you're getting about a quarter way across the bridge, you hear some shouting off to your right, and you look over just as you see an individual get flung out a window, sailing down towards the river below with a and you watch as they suddenly emerge, coughing up disgusting river water and start drifting downstream. You see a small halfling man lean out the window and start shouting at him, "I'll never come back here again!" So you continue moving towards the structure up ahead, and you can see there is a bit of a queue for people that are having their goods inspected by the Flaming Fist soldiers that are on either side of this bridge. There seems to be one line going to the north, and on the other side of the bridge, another line coming to the south. You see many of the Flaming Fists are just bored, leaning against the stone walls, just casually watching people go by, kind of waving their hands towards the inspection crew. And I would like...
Can you switch the party view to Baldur's Gate? We still see the world map.
Oh, yes, of course. I didn't even realize that you were still looking at the world map. Thank you. Oh, fucks. Oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe Ovak is somewhere in Baldur's Gate right now. Olive, I know that you enjoy rolling dice for random things.
Yes, I do.
Do you want to, I have to pull this up, but do you want to roll a d20 for me?
Heck yeah. 3.
Okay, 3. Let me find the damn table. I had everything else ready, and then this was the one thing that I didn't have ready, of course.
And I think you also need to join the room in Witch Dice.
Ah! Am I not in the room? Oh my goodness, you're right. Thank you. There we go. There's Lovelace's 3. Thank you, Olive. Boom. Got it. Okay, so you got a 3. Okay. Okay, as you're approaching the bridge, you can see there is one individual ahead that is in an argument with the Flaming Fist. So you see this let's see here. You see this human man, is clearly a merchant who has a donkey at their side that's just packed full of goods, wearing these fairly nice robes, a bit spattered with dirt and grime. But next to them, you see that there is a peacock, and the peacock is the largest peacock you've probably seen. It is about the size of the donkey. And you can start to overhear conversation as this merchant is saying, I understand, but you see, this donkey is the same size as this peacock here, and I know that the rules of Baldur's Gate state that only an animal the size of a peacock can go within its walls. So therefore, I think I should be able to bring my donkey and all of its goods that I have on there.
Just listen here. We've seen this a million times. Clearly, you've cast enlarge on this peacock.
No, this is a specially bred peacock. Look, do you have a magic user in there that can cast a spell on it? I promise you.
Look, can you wait till the morning? The gate's about to close, and we're not letting any more animals through.
No, look, could I just give you a little extra gold? A gold piece. Baby, just for you. And he throws a gold over to the guard, pockets it. Guard looks over their shoulder nervously. Lovelace and Quidam, you do see that resting on the parapets of this structure, this worm's crossing that's stretching up before you, and it's this very utilitarian, stout, square building with curved edges at the top that go out at a 45-degree angle. You can see a couple guards up top there just scanning the river. But on the parapets above, you see this strange little winged creature. It looks kind of familiar. It looks similar to Coriander and Cumin. You suspect it might be a homunculus, but it's resting up there, and it looks down at this interaction and then flutters away, and you see it go into some window in the upper floor. And the guard goes,
All right, yep, go on through.
Thank you, sir. And he leads the peacock through, and then the guard looks at the two of you.
All right, come on. Are you carrying any illicit substances with you? Any illegal weapons? Any animals that I should know about, or anything like that? All right, go ahead, go through. 5 copper pieces for each of you.
I will hand over a silver and 5 copper for the 3 of us.
Takes it, pockets it.
Go on, go through. Come on.
And then starts shouting to the next group coming through. Oh my god. Yeah, if the chicken was once the mighty T-Rex. Very fair, idea boy. Anyway, so yes, you make it through, and as you go through Worm's Rock, as it's known, this structure, this fortress at the center of the river, you walk through this cobblestoned tunnel. You can hear Lovelace's hooves kind of clacking on the cobblestone below. And up above, you can see it's just countless murder holes. And to the sides, you see multiple arrow slits with periodically a sullen face that kind of peeks through as you go by. And you see numerous other individuals passing you coming from the south, seeming to kind of hurry as they go. And as you get to the other drawbridge, you see multiple individuals anxiously looking over the shoulders of the line. But you made it through without issue.
Do we still see the peacock?
You do see the merchant up ahead. He is trying to come on, pulling on the donkey, and the peacock as well, which calls out as he's leading it.
Now that we're on the other side of the bridge and aren't in danger of being stuck on the other side for the night, I would like to find one of these food vendors and purchase a pastry filled with meats and vegetables.
Yeah.
Just quick food for dinner here.
Absolutely. That is easy enough to do. You see off to the left, there is a small, narrow building smashed between 2 other buildings. And there's essentially just a bar, but open to the street. With a tiny little door off to the side, and you can see that behind the bar there is a halfling busily working back there. You see that they seem to make some sort of they have this gigantic hot rock or perhaps it's iron. It's hard to tell from this distance, but they seem to be ladling some kind of dough liquid onto it and then spreading it out very, very thin. And then you see them starting to cook eggs and meat off to the side, and just and you see multiple people grabbing these wrapped, delicate little wraps filled with cheeses and meats and eggs, all kinds of stuff. You see some people even have them filled with fruits. So do you want to go there?
Yeah. I'll actually.
Lovely. That's great.
Yeah, as you approach, you see the sign that says Baldur's Grave. How did I not see that? Oh my god.
That's very good.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, no.
All right, yeah, sorry, go ahead,
It's good to
Kadam.
see you all again.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, Lovelace, I think I would know at this point, but are you a vegetarian?
No.
All right. I will just grab 3 that look filling.
Okay. Yeah, there's one it is filled with egg, ham, and cheese. It looks very tasty. So yeah, let's just call it. This is the other sheet I did not have available. I'd say it's probably like 2 copper pieces each. So
Done.
go ahead.
You're just starting to plow through the purse that I was given that we didn't use at all on the way to or practically from Baldur's Gate
Yeah.
or to Candlekeep.
Oh man. Olive, why don't you roll another d20 for me as you're starting to cross the last part of this bridge?
2.
2. Such low rolls. Okay, cool. Good to know. So, yeah, you got 3, so I'm assuming you passed one to Valor. Valor eagerly accepts it. Thank you, Lovelace. This is... What is this? It smells delicious.
Very thin pancakes.
Breakfast food is, it's great any time of day, honestly.
Any time of day.
Yes.
I agree.
Thank you, my friend, calls out to the halfling. The halfling just kind of, you're welcome. Keeps eating. All right. So, as the sun is now starting to dip below the horizon, you can hear behind you, and you're getting across the other side of the bridge, the sound of bells starting to coom, coom, coom from the fortress behind you. And you start to hear echoing across the river that very hefty metallic sound of chains as the drawbridges are getting raised. And you do hear a couple of moans of people going, "Oh, come on," from across the bridge.
Could have been us.
It could have been. This is why I waited to go on the other side of the bridge for food.
Yep.
Yes, this was such a good idea. I didn't even realize how hungry I was. Keeps eating. So you get across the bridge and enter into the neighborhood of Twin Songs. You can easily cut through here without issue. You can see off to the left and right as you pass through this neighborhood, there seem to be multiple shrines and churches to deities that are a little lesser known and less worshipped within Baldur's Gate proper. I'm just curious, Kadam, the shrine that you would go to, is that probably tucked away off the road, or?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, passing through, you see all kinds of shrines. God, I don't know my gods. Doesn't matter. Just a bunch of ones that are a little more obscure. I'll say you see one that is a very small shrine, and it's quite simple. It's just a stone rising up on the side of the road with a circular disc kind of balanced atop this little nestled nook. And this disc has this intricate labyrinthine pattern that kind of goes outwards from the center. And you can see there are many offerings laid at the bottom of it. Yep.
This?
Like that, yeah. So, you make your way through Twin Songs without issue, and you start cutting around. You can make a religion check.
Because Claire has no idea what this is.
Really? I'm surprised.
8.
No, you have no idea. I'll tell.
Scenery.
Yeah, I'll tell you after the stream because.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you do know what deity it is. Yeah, so you continue heading north and start cutting around the east side of Dusthawk Hill, and you can look up to the right and just see the massive shadow of the hill up there. And Lovelace and Quidam, you can see way at the top the faint little specks of what appear to be multiple birds of prey that are flying to and fro from the top of the peak. Entering into Southfoot, it's a relatively smaller neighborhood. The traffic is definitely dying down. These are becoming more residential as the sun is going down. And you continue on. Let me see here. Go like that. Okay. Continuing around the north side of Dusthawk Hill, it's getting progressively darker and darker. The streets just being lit by whatever light is coming through the windows of the various homes around you. And all the homes in here, none of them are really 2 stories. Maybe there's a couple, but they're all single-story homes. Some of them essentially shacks. Others a little more well-furnished, but it is relatively small, simple homes. One thing of note, though, as you start entering the White Keep neighborhood, you can see off to the north, and here there is one larger home that I believe it's maybe 3 stories. It stands out like a sore thumb. It is painted in all kinds of bright colors. You can see that all the lights are on within, like warm flickering light from within, and there is just loud music echoing across the way towards the road, and you can hear shouting and laughter. You can see all kinds of strange moving contraptions in like the front yard and in the back. These interesting kinetic sculptures, some activated by the wind, others seemingly just running on their own. You're not sure how they work, but nevertheless, you continue on without issue.
I think I'm actually going to point that place out as we go by to Valor. I'm like, see that? If anything ever changes, for like really changes here on the coast, it's going to be because of those folks.
You don't say. What makes you say that? I mean, it's an interesting house. Looks like they got some artists there.
Yeah, artists, radical thinkers. Yeah, they can see a world that, I don't know, most of us folks can't.
It looks like a fun place. Perhaps, maybe I'll have to swing by there next time I'm through here. Are they okay with visitors?
Yeah, generally.
Thanks
I would
for pointing it
recommend
out.
not openly carrying a greatsword, though, maybe.
Yeah, try not to look like the Flaming Fist.
Yes, I can see how that's might be confusing when looking at me. Yeah, I can do that. You know, I don't always wear armor. Hopefully, you'll see me not in my armor. So, yeah, I have some clothes. Good to know. Why don't we, Quidam? Why don't you roll a d20 for me?
All right. Smile quietly to myself. 16.
16. Okay. Can you roll a d12? Sorry, d10. Roll a d10.
1.
Oh, wow. This is like perfect. So as you are continuing, getting closer to Norchapel, and you start passing by Little Kalamsham, which definitely stands out in this neighborhood. It is essentially, it looks like a mini city, but completely different architectural style from Baldur's Gate. Obviously, both of you are familiar with it because you live next to it, but it is essentially looks like let me pull it up. And for the audience, bear with me, this is a gigantic city. There's a shit ton of stuff, and I need to periodically look at the notes on everything that's there. So you see this walled tiny settlement, essentially, that looks like a miniature city, and it has multiple towers rising up at the corners and within, and they have these beautiful, intricate, almost, they look like little onions adorning the tops of the towers, but they are some are plated in what looks to be bronze, others are perhaps tile and have beautiful mosaics on them, others are painted bright blues. And you can see that within there are other structures that are poking up over these walls with these great domes adorning their tops. And it sounds like it's quite lively in there. You can hear the kind of sounds of people speaking within. For those of you with more perceptive ears, both of you pretty good passive perceptions. You pick up, well, it would be the language of Kalimsham. It's not quite common what you're used to hearing. And as you're passing, though, you see that there are... Okay, let me do this here. Okay. There are 6 what appear to be individuals with scimitars, and they are just shouting and yelling at these 2 other individuals that the ones that are shouting, they all seem to have garments and dress that is typical to Kalimsham, whereas the other 2 seem to be perhaps Baldurians. Maybe if you know of the region of Tethir, maybe they come from there. But they are just in a shouting match, yelling at each other. And you hear the 6 individuals shouting at them. I never want to see your faces in here ever again! You hear me? You are not allowed to sneak within here after dark! And the other 2 just are like, what you think you're so tough? Come on. I mean, come on. What are you doing keeping us out of there? You better get out of our faces right now! And they're just shouting and looking like they're on the verge of violence as you are passing by. You're welcome to interact with us if you want, or continue going.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but my impression is that this kind of thing is just normal evening activity around here.
Yeah, I mean, brawls and fights are not uncommon. So, but it's up to you.
I'm drawn to intervene.
Go for it.
What would you like to do?
You stop, I will. But...
I think Lovelace will like approach the 2. I'm like, hey, guys, don't you know the rules?
They think they're better than us, keeping us out. We just wanted to go into the bazaars and see what was going on at night. You know, they keep us out.
Yeah, well, that's not really how it works around here. If you want to see the bazaars, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to let you come back in the morning. You gotta respect the rules.
Can you make a persuasion check?
You're
so good at those.
Doing the talking.
Yeah.
Quidam's just kind of standing maybe 10 feet away.
So
just kind of
my rolls have been
really
successively worse, and I started at a 3.
3. Is that a natural one? That because there's no modifiers on that, is there?
That's a natural 3, natural 2, natural 1.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. I mean,
yeah, no, I'm trying to think of like, I mean, what were you gonna say? Like, what was your thought?
It seems like the violence is the consequence here.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Oh.
The thing is, like, yeah, I think one of the Kalashite individuals steps forward and gets right up in your face with a scimitar. What do you think you're doing, huh? Sticking up for these thugs here, breaking into our homes when they're unwanted.
Yo, I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to get them out of your faces.
Lovelace.
Pull the scimitar out just a touch. Shh. And the other two reach and they grab short swords and pull them out a touch as well, getting ready.
Lovelace, let's go home. And I will just kind of hold out my hand. Sure.
Yep, I'll take it.
Sorry to disturb you all, I will say to the 8 of them.
The one thug steps in front of you and stops you from moving, Lovelace, while 2 others kind of circle in behind, and the other 3 step up to the other 2 and go, "You better get out of here now. You want to keep your heads." And the other 2, looking at the numbers, just, "Yeah, all right," and start backing away. And the Kalashite ones look at you, Lovelace. "All right. You want to get away with your head. Gonna need a bit of payment to pass safely past our home. Cough it
Yo,
up."
man, I just got those 2 out of your hair.
I'll give you one more persuasion check here.
Can Quidam help?
I don't know, Quidam, are you gonna try to help?
I am currently disinclined to.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Go for it.
Great. You know what? I'm gonna do. I've never succeeded on, I think, intimidation or persuasion.
Yeah, if you want to intimidate, you can. You have to do it, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Hey, man. Don't pick a fight that you don't want to finish. And I think Lovelace draws herself up to her full height and rests her hand gently on, I think, like the lance and the like impressive array of weapons that she is currently carrying.
Yeah.
Javelins, pikes, 2 hand axes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think just like using my
Okay.
bolt, making it clear that this isn't gonna be easy for
Okay.
them.
Go for it. And I don't just so you know, you can use strength for intimidation, like your strength modifier instead of charisma. That is a rule, like as written.
Oh dang.
Yeah. So you were welcome to
Just
use.
flex that bicep as you go back.
Wait, just like whenever you want?
Yeah. Whenever you make an intimidation check, you can choose to use the strength modifier instead of charisma, because I think it's just supposed to represent that, like, you don't have to be super charismatic to be incredibly intimidating. So yeah, you can use.
Yeah, but I think in this case it's like not the threat of like violence.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm
You're
trying to de-escalate. I'm not trying to
Go
escalate
for it.
here.
Yeah.
So I have just argued myself into not getting a +3.
You want to give me a? Oh my
Oh
god.
my god!
What?
That's another
the
nat
hell?
1!
Okay.
It's +2 this time.
Wow.
We're back up to 3, folks.
You do see. So you see the other 3 are now circling the other 2 thugs as they're trying to escape, and they are now circling in on them, pulling their swords out, and you hear them saying similar things of, "You better give us some gold now." And the one standing on you, is you have your hand on them. They and pull the scimitar up to your throat and say, "Give us the gold."
Here, I've got some, I will say, from off to the side.
Okay.
Um,
How much do you throw down?
6.
6 gold.
6 gold.
Okay. It lands on the
Oh,
ground.
I wouldn't throw it. I would like offer it with my hand.
Okay.
I'm not gonna throw anything right now.
Okay. Looks at you. Do you? I guess you would have pulled the gold out of a purse or something.
Yeah. I've probably got. Honestly, I've probably got that purse on an inner pocket.
Okay.
So like reaching underneath my my shawl into clothing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna do something here. He reaches over and grabs it out of your hand. Pockets it. And slowly lowers the scimitar. Slides it in. And then looks at the other two who are currently like with the hands up, reaching in their pockets and like pulling out whatever they have. Get out of here.
Lovelace.
Yep, I will go.
I will physically usher her away.
You see Valor is like just standing there with her hand on the hilt of her sword, just in a moment was about to lash out. And then relaxes. Okay. I'm so
wasn't
sorry.
necessary.
I'm so sorry. All of that was just like...
Nah. I think as soon as like we're out of earshot, Lovelace will turn to Quidam and say like that wasn't necessary. I had that.
I really did not want more violence.
I don't think it would have come to that. Like, what's the worst? They start drawing and then we could just book it. I'm not gonna like start a fight in our backyard.
All right.
But
Been home
thanks.
45 minutes. Less than that.
Yeah, you know how it is. I'm glad those kids didn't get gutted.
Yeah. Come on.
All right. So, you continue into the neighborhood of North Chapel. Valor does look at both of you and comes up to you, Lovelace, as you start going into this neighborhood. You all right, Lovelace?
Yeah, I'm fine. I guess I've seen too many kids, I don't know, run afoul there. They don't know how this city works.
Yes, I think I've seen the aftermath of such things. All right. I'm glad you're okay.
I saw your hand on your sword there.
Well, I as well was not going to just ensue bloodshed, because I don't think those 6 could have taken anything out on me, but...
I doubt it either.
But between the 3 of us, honestly, after what we've been through, it would have been real messy.
That is part of what I was afraid of.
Yep.
I don't want us to be arrested. I don't want us to commit any murders. I don't want us to get into trouble. I'm done with trouble. I'm done.
All right.
Is that what you think, Quidam?
That is what I think. I'm looking forward to sleeping in my own bed tonight.
And speaking of which, as you are continuing towards the
My
Basilisk
own
Gate,
bed. I said as we pass by my front door.
you walk past the front door of your home, and Lovelace, you know that yours is just on the other side, as it's kind of a little block here of buildings, and you can see Quidam's small home with a patch of roses growing out front.
How are the roses doing?
That's a good question. Let's find out. Let's say... Okay. They look great.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
They look wonderful.
My substitute gardener has been doing well then.
And you do see that your neighbors, there's a little light inside their window, and you can kind of hear some laughter and chatter from within, and smoke rising up from the chimney, and some sort of savory smell is coming out of their door. But unless you want to stop at your home, You make
No,
it in,
we're getting stuff done right now.
you make it into the next neighborhood of Stony Eyes, and as you are approaching, you can start to smell that smell of manure and offal and blood and iron starting to really fill your nostrils, as up ahead is the district that is heavily populated by liveries and slaughterhouses and all sorts of places. And as you are continuing down the street, you see there is another queue up ahead as people are trying to pass through Basilisk Gate. Approaching Basilisk Gate. Sorry.
It's all right. I'm doing some math right now.
Of course.
I've been spending money.
Yeah, so approaching Basilisk Gate, you see that there are there's a queue of people as they're trying to get in. You also see there are multiple folks that are quite destitute, all with their hands out. Many of them seem to be begging for whatever handouts people could give them, or food, gold, whatever. And you see some individuals do come up to you and they start asking for coin as you're approaching. And the gate itself, I believe, I was trying to find a description of it, which is weird that I can't, but I'm pretty confident that it gets its name because there is multiple statues that adorn the arch, and there's one prominent one that appears to be the snarling head of a basilisk overlooking this community. So, can Olive roll not a d20? I actually had you roll the wrong dice last time, but it worked out. Roll a d8.
7.
Okay. As you're waiting in line, you see a couple of guards off to the side. They come stepping out from some little nook in the wall, kind of stretch, and they look out over the crowd. They look back.
All right, you lot. If you want the express lane, you can pay us 1 gold and you'll get it right in. Any takers?
And you see a couple people come up, seem to be a little more well off as they start paying their way to get in quickly. But if you don't do anything, you have to continue through the queue normally. You get to the gate as the guards start looking through your packs, checking to make sure you're not taking any illegal substances within. Seems like the search here is being a little more thorough. But nevertheless, I mean, I don't think you have anything illegal on you, right?
No. I've definitely got some valuables, but nothing illegal.
I got the
Yeah.
maggots. The mercy grubs.
Yeah, I mean, I think at one point one of the guards opens that sack up and looks in and just goes, just immediately puts it away. They don't seem, they're not taking anything. They're not asking for bribes or anything. They're just, these seems to be a little more standard process here.
I mean, besides the, like, I guess standardized bribes.
Yeah. I'm just saying for Baldur's Gate, which is not a very, it's a little corrupt, but yeah, if you haven't been able to tell. Yeah, so another 5 copper from each of you. Quidam, are you covering this?
Still got that.
Okay. As you get through the other side, Valor, just thank you, Quidam. I'm going to have to. Well, if before I leave tomorrow, perhaps if you can show me where you live. Oh, you pointed it out, right?
I did. Those were my roses.
I'll be swinging by and thanks. Get you something. That. And you enter into the Eastway neighborhood. So you are now on the other side of the wall of Baldur's Gate. You can see behind you this massive stone wall looming up behind you. These streets are now just jam-packed with structures. You see all kinds of alleyways and roads, just this warren, almost labyrinth-like network stretching out before you, and you start to get the scent of the sea air wafting up the street, and you can hear the distant sounds of ships' bells ringing. And far to the north, you can see the upper city looming over everything, kind of just barely visible as the mists and the fog is starting to roll in as the sun has gone down. Where do you all want to go?
Well,
I mean, I
the
think
crack's
have a-
fine.
The
Yeah.
crack's fine. Okay, that's what I figured.
I think Lovelace, this is the neighborhood that we're going to be stopping in. Lovelace, not some Lovelace.
Yes, it is Quidam. As well, you know, this is where the cracked spine is.
I wasn't going to go that far. I meant to say Valor.
It's been a very long day. No problem. Yes, I think I will be parting ways as well. I need to find my way down to the harbor and see if I can charter a boat, get me out of here in the morning. But before I go, Lovelace, do you want to get together tonight? Show me around?
I got an idea. There's a place that I think you'd like.
Sounds good. Where shall I meet you?
Where's the inn that we said that you were saying?
Which inn?
I feel like I gave a recommendation last time. Was it the mermaid?
Oh yeah, you want to? Okay, yeah. The oh
The
god,
Blushing Mermaid?
Blushing Mermaid. There you go. Yeah,
Blushing Mermaid.
Blushing Mermaid. Okay, yeah, sounds good.
It's a bit rough there, but I'm sure you'll do fine.
Sounds like my kind of place. All right, I will see you at the Blushing Mermaid. Quidam.
Valor.
And she turns and walks down the cobblestone street away from you. And hopefully you'll see Valor again later.
I hope we will.
So, winding your way through the busy district of Eastway, you eventually make your way down towards the harbor and find yourself standing in front of the cracked spine. You see before you, I mean, both of you have been here before, but you see this tiny, tiny bookshop, this little square cube of a building smashed between other buildings. And there is kind of a very old, almost like melting glass window. So it's very distorted and warped, as you can see inside, just some warm light from probably candles or lanterns. And as you step inside, you find yourself in this lovely, it's probably a bit cramped for you, but this cramped bookshop. The walls are covered in shelves, floor to ceiling, that are just filled to the brim with books. And as you enter to the left, you can see there is this wooden counter that is beautifully made, and it has all these dwarven runes engraved into its face. And resting there behind it, you see Disa. She is a dwarven woman. She seems to be propped up on some sort of chair that kind of raises her up to the counter level, and she is small for a dwarf, almost compressed down, filled with wrinkles and this beautiful silvery hair and a tight little bob, and she has lush mutton chops that come down the sides of her cheeks. She has this broad face and a broad nose and these glasses that are impossibly thick as she sits there with a big giant mug of coffee just steaming before her, a little book there in front of her. And as the door opens, she looks up. Ah! Quidam! Lovelace!
Disa,
Ah,
How
it's
are
nice to
you?
see you. I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. It's good to be home.
But come in. Close the door behind you. You here to see,
We are.
Okay. One moment. Can I offer you, some coffee?
No thanks from me, but
Lovely.
I'd love some.
And you want any of the little bit in there?
Just coffee's fine.
All right. She hops down and kind of waddles over to what looks to be a little back room, and she disappears in there. You hear some clinking of ceramic, and then she comes out with another mug that's just steaming and hands it over to you, Lovelace. Made it nice and thick tonight for you. All right. And
This thick coffee.
yeah, and as you smell it, it almost like burns your nostrils, like clears your sinuses.
Yep. Make it just how I remember. All right then.
And then when you sip it's just like acidic and just very, very potent coffee.
Actually, just maybe just a touch of just take that.
Right. And she goes and literally disappears behind the wooden desk, and then and rests this massive bottle that's just like brown glass with leather wrapped around it, and she pulls the cork off, and her hand kind of shaking comes over. Yeah. Oh, you're muted for some reason.
Oh, just a bit.
I got you, dear. And she grabs onto your hand with her gnarled hand and pulls your hand towards her, and just and then just does a nice, probably a shot, a little more, and then.
Okay, that's.
There you go, just a little bit for you, dear.
Okay, Disa, I always
Sits it down.
appreciate it.
All right, well, come on with me. We'll head on to the back. And then puts it under the desk.
I'm awake.
It's very strong. And she waddles over to the back of this bookshop, and the way it's laid out, it's kind of odd. You'd expect the shelves to kind of be parallel with the front door, but they're all perpendicular to the door, creating these like barriers. And as you go to the very back of the shop and turn to the right, you're basically hidden from everyone out front in the window from all these shelves. And she waddles over to the corner and you can see that the vertical runners between the shelves, they all have more dwarven runes that are embossed, that kind of raised up on the wood. And she goes up to one and pops it so it kind of flips up counterclockwise, revealing a little keyhole. And then she grabs a big chain, like a little necklace that's hanging around her neck. There's this wad of keys just hanging there, and she kind of no. And it's like a very narrow, like just wide enough for you, Lovelace. You kind of have to like shimmy in, but this shelf is very cleverly constructed where it just slides right into the wall, revealing this dusty staircase leading down. And she goes,
I'm telling you, the feng shui in here, like, I know there's lots of like architectural constraints, but I feel like, I don't know, just put in like a mirror or something in could make this like all feel a lot less cramped.
well, I like it this way, dear. It reminds me of my past.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I'm terribly sorry for the stairs, Lovelace. We don't have a lot to work with in the small footprint of the building.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you do understand.
It's all good.
Okay, good. All right, well, she's waiting down there, still working. Have fun.
Thank you, Disa.
As
It's always a pleasure seeing you.
Oh, it's just such a pleasure, Quidam. I tell you're no problem. I always love seeing you, both of you. All right, have fun. I'm gonna close the door behind you. Okay. And closes it
You want
as
me
you
to
go
go
in.
first, or okay?
Oh yeah. Well, go ahead.
Maybe make some of that light.
Sure. I will light up the tip of my spear again and head on down.
Okay.
I'm gonna precariously balance this concoction I have been gifted.
Oh, I can take that if you want.
Oh no, I got it. I got it. Just like one hand. Clip
As you
swap.
down these stairs.
Seppo.
Man, I don't have a good soundtrack for this, so I'll just do. Sure. This isn't good. Just do this one. So, you work your way down these stairs. You can see that they cut to the left probably. I'd say you probably wind around twice, going going maybe like 40 feet down into the earth, and you find yourself as you do the second bend down the stairs, it opens up into a room, and you find yourself in a subterranean stone room. And at the bottom of the stairs, there are two hooded figures that are just standing there, and they quickly glance up and see you coming down the stairs and just give a quick nod to you, Quidam, and then you, Lovelace. And then they take their hands off of their short swords. The room itself is a stone room with low vault ceilings. It's about 20 foot wide, and there is just a flurry of sound that accosts your ears as you start to enter this room. It is the sound of coins and scales and quills on parchment. And you can see there are 4 tables that are lining the walls of this room. And there are individuals at each table that are just meticulously counting coins, throwing them into chests, placing them on scales, writing things down in like big fat diaries or what, ledgers, I suppose, and at the back of the room, there is a single desk isolated by itself with a high-backed chair. The desk itself has multiple stacks of parchment. There's a sturdy mug there and a smoldering pipe that's just resting to the side. And sitting in the high-backed chair, you see a very stocky woman with brown skin, dark eyes. She has this 2 inches of curly black hair that halo her head, and it's pulled up and tied off with a red silk scarf that kind of trails down over her shoulder. And as you walk in, you see that she is currently finishing up writing something and looks up and then keeps writing and gestures her hand towards the front of the desk. You can see there are a couple of chairs in front. And Lovelace, you can...
I will also stand.
Okay. So you walk through the room, and as you approach, you can see that just to her left, there is another hooded figure that's just standing there patiently. And as you go to approach the desk, she just holds a hand up as kind of like a wait a moment. And then stamps something like a letter and hands it to the hooded figure, who takes it, and you watch as they dart out of the room. There seems to be a stone hallway that leads out the back towards something else.
We're back.
I could see that. Quidam, Lovelace.
Box of screws. So,
Well, what'd you find out?
We are dealing with oh gods.
a Slytherin tracker.
Thank you, Lovelace.
They look like puddles of water. They alternate between states of dormancy and killing, and they drown the victims. They're usually made by a hag, but can sometimes get loose and then are no longer controlled by the hag. Did I miss anything? Oh, they can be destroyed by sprinkling a dust of dryness on them.
We know that dusted dryness is involved. I don't think we got the information of what to do with it.
Well, I see. How's Matreus doing?
Dead.
Very badly.
Well, you want to tell me a bit more? Lovelace, did you have a disagreement with our friend?
He was dead when we got there. There's some mishap with an imp.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Closet, I think it was. We had the mishap with the imp.
Right. Hey, I made my first deal with the devil.
Well, you sure about that? Looks like you came out on the other side unscathed. That's good.
Yeah, as usual, the dangerous ones are the other humans, you know.
Well, that's how it goes. Well, this is all good to hear, but how do we find the damn thing?
Well, that's the question, ain't it?
I think we have a lead on a book. I figured you might know something about that.
Well, perhaps. Depends on the book.
We never finished reading the book about the Slytherin tracker.
Oh, I see. Find another copy of the book.
Yeah.
That's right, because... That's right. Claire did not review their notes before starting this session.
Oh, also, do you know anything about what were those things called?
Ging Watsons.
Ging Watsons. Ever heard of them?
King, what's it?
Yeah, that was my response initially.
Yeah, Gesundheit. That's what I said.
Never heard of that. I can ask around, see if any the other members know anything.
Well, specifically, they are things, creatures that are made to look like, to replicate exactly other inanimate objects.
What does this have to do with our problem?
Well, Matreus arrived at Candlekeep with a Ging Watson, not a book.
Was it Matreus or those other folks?
Well, 3 of them, but Matreus most recently.
Yeah, so someone's been selling these fake books to travelers heading south that end up being some kind of creatures that try to kill their owners or whoever's around.
Yeah, whoever's around seems.
And we thought if we could track down the book that we need, which was Ging Watsam, get an actual copy of it.
What was the book?
That's what I'm trying to remember.
Something oozes.
It was about oozes.
All about oozes. Everything you ever wanted to know about oozes, but we're afraid to ask. Ooze clues.
You want me to tell you? Because I do know. You're gonna kick yourself.
Oozes, Jubilex Demon, Lord of Oozes. That's what I have.
The book was called Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions.
Oh, I don't think we ever got that, Nathan.
You didn't? I thought it
don't
said
think
that on
so.
the front.
I thought it was specifically about oozes.
Okay, I must have missed a step there. Then we'll go with what you have about oozes. Okay. Well, now that sounds mighty familiar.
I was wondering if it might.
Was that not the book that Matreus used that I sold him? You're telling me that book turned into one of these Ging Watsums? Huh. Well, I didn't know that the book was that.
I would love to make an inside check.
Go for it.
Oh, good. Oh, that's so much. Uh, 23.
Um, she looks genuinely surprised. Yeah. And she follows it up with, I think I'm gonna have to have a talk with some of my staff who acquired this book.
Yeah, if we can help with that, because presumably whoever made it has a copy of the real book, and that seems like the best way forward to track down this Slytherin tracker.
Well, we acquired the book from someone, and I'm not certain that I know exactly where they got the book from.
Well,
I could ask the person who was involved with the transaction.
we did get from a couple of the other people who had been sold similar books that they got theirs from the Wide. In the northeast corner, something Dune,
Amber Dunes.
Amber Dunes.
Yeah, I know them. So these other books that turned into these Ging Watsums, they was acquired from Amber Dunes.
That's right.
All right. Well, that certainly seems like a good place to start. Do you need anything from me before you go and look into that?
I might request to keep the rest of the purse that you gave me for traveling expenses.
That's fair.
Other than that, I mean, I suppose we could do that.
Yeah, do you want to go tonight or tomorrow morning?
Well, we can't get up there tonight.
Yeah, the Wide's gonna be closed by now. And I don't know where the proprietors of that stall reside. I could ask around. Probably find out. If you so desire to interact with them this evening.
I think we've got other plans, but thank you.
We do need to resolve this quickly. Well, as in, I would like the two of you to settle this. Seems that there has been another death in Norchapel.
Who?
Damn it.
No one I know, but
Do you have a name?
not on me. I'd have to go find out.
All right.
But it was getting closer to the Stony Eyes neighborhood, Quidam, and I think we need to make sure that it doesn't breach into the Eastway neighborhood and start disrupting my business. So, if you can get to it first thing in the morning, I'd be willing to give you a bit more coin to aid you if you need it.
That'd be appreciated. We had to pay a fair number of tolls going around.
Not a problem. Just give me a moment, please. We'll pull a drawer open,
Tolls.
start going through something, and sets down two sacks of coin before you. That should cover you for quite a while.
Thanks.
All right.
You can each add 25 gold to your inventory.
That doubles the amount of money I have.
Yep.
Well, if you don't need anything else from me, I do need to resume my work. Lovelace, would you not mind waiting upstairs? I would like to speak with Quidam privately.
All right, Quidam. Meet you tomorrow morning.
Oh. Yeah, sure.
Cool. I'll head out then.
Okay. Head up the stairs.
Should I look for you at home? I'll call after her.
I might be out late.
Right, but should I go to the other place tomorrow morning, or?
Oh yeah, tomorrow morning. Yeah, just come on over.
Sorry, to your house? I'm starting to kind of blush a little bit at the foot of the stairs.
Yes, you know where it is, don't you?
All right. No, just want to make sure. No. Turn back to box of screws.
Okay.
I don't see the problem.
Just want to be sure.
Box of screws, as you walk back into the room, Quidam, she will get up from her desk and gesture for you to follow down that stone hall. And she takes you into you can see the hall does continue a little ways, and it opens up into some other room, but there's one more private room that she pulls you into. And this seems to be like a storage room filled with crates and barrels, things like that. But she leads you in and closes the door behind. How you doing, Quidam?
It's been rough, frankly.
I hope you understand why I would like to resolve this sooner rather than later.
No, I understand.
I know I haven't talked to them in a while, but I still care about them, despite them spitting in my face.
Do you not know the name of the person who died?
I genuinely don't remember. It was no one I knew, but it was very close to their home. So I'm just getting a bit worried.
I understand. No, I agree. It would be nice if you could ask every now and then instead of just assuming that people will do your bidding.
Well, I'm asking you now.
It doesn't count now. I've already said yes.
I've gotten a bit used to people just doing things for me around here.
I know.
It's also becoming a bit more difficult to continue associating with you and Lovelace, but we do have our histories.
Well, there are more private places than this.
Certainly. But Nine Fingers Keen understands what services you provide for the guild.
She knows about us? By name?
She knows that the healer's crew has been providing aid to the Eastway branch of the guild. It's hard for me to keep things from her. I have not mentioned your name or Lovelace, but I suspect she probably already knows. The folks in there are my closest and most trusted, but you never know. Coin can do a lot to get people to talk.
I'm very aware. I will thrust my spear at her. Well, I will thrust her spear at her.
As in to hands.
No, I'm not.
Oh, make an attack roll with advantage because I am very surprised. No, yeah, of course. Yeah, thrust it. Yeah.
It was a good walking stick, but I don't think I need it anymore.
All right, well, if you insist, Quidam. What about the shield there? You gonna hold on to that?
I would like to.
Did you run into a bit of trouble on the road?
A fair bit. Yeah, a fair bit. I completely forgot to tell any of the Flaming Fists that there are gnolls out there. Oh, gods.
Oh, well, they're useless. That wouldn't do much good anyways.
At least they would know.
Well, I doubt that gnolls would try to attack this fine city. Maybe.
No, but they've been picking people off on the road.
Damn it, Quidam, your heart is just too good for this world.
Well, I suppose I could explain it as Boulder's Gate is losing coin on a week, what is it? Not a week, 10-day basis, as various farmers and merchants are attacked on the road.
Honestly, that probably would be the play there.
I know.
All right, well, I shall let you get back to it, but I just gotta say, this would a lot of this would be a lot easier if you could convince your crew that you're associated with to just integrate with the guild.
We've talked about this. That's not going to happen.
Just would relieve quite a lot of pressure and make things a bit more smooth.
On your end.
And we could provide more resources for you. We have funding, we got networks, we can get people around. You could expand that crew.
I'm not going to have this conversation with you right now.
All right. Fine. Fine. All right. Well, best of luck to you and Lovelace. Keep me updated on what's going on. I will let my people know as well to keep an eye out. And I guess look for suspicious puddles.
I know.
I really hope you do
Honestly,
find that book.
If you could find a hag, that'd be absolutely wonderful. How one goes about finding a hag, I have no clue.
I don't know of many hags, or any really. I've just heard about them in stories.
Exactly.
Well, I'll ask around. The book that we acquired, well, it was taken from someone, and perhaps the my employee who was a part of that transaction will have some details. So I'll be asking around.
All right.
Lovelace, have a good evening. She opens the door. Or Lovelace, sorry. Quidam. My brain is
It's all right. I called
hello there,
Lovelace
Lovelace.
earlier.
Quidam.
Not an hour ago.
It was nice seeing you, and I hope you have a good evening.
Thanks. I'll see you again soon. And I will head up. I will trot out with not undue haste, but some haste.
All right. And we're just about at 9 here, but I want to at least start our as Lovelace. As Quidam, as you head. I'm assuming you're heading back home.
Yeah.
Lovelace, you leave the cracked spine, and Disa, good night, Lovelace. I hope to see you soon. Don't be a stranger, okay?
Yeah, of course not.
I have more coffee, and I'm always happy to share.
I know.
Did you finish yours? Make sure you get every last drop.
We'll see how far I get.
Well, I do need the mug, so drink up. Come on.
Okay. I think I'll take like one last draft.
Okay.
And put it down. Probably have not finished the whole thing.
She looks at it. No, there's more in here. Come on now, you're a growing girl. No, it just
put it back like you can.
You gotta have some more. This will it'll make you grow strong.
One last drink, but that's it.
There you go.
Put it down.
She brings it up to you like come on. And you
You're
just
gonna
grab
start
it,
making rock noises.
Drink it, slam it down, and as you go to leave, she's just like, bye, Lovelace.
Bye, Disa.
And you just see her, she grabs it and just pours it into her mug and keeps drinking. And yeah, Quidam, you head out for home, and lovely. So you are heading for the Blushing Mermaid?
Yes.
Okay. Uh-huh. All the things, cause it's a city, there's so many things. Just trying to find my notes. Where are my notes? There they are. I found them. I'm gonna sing a little bit here. Got it. Okay. So, lovely. So you head a bit north, following along the docks in the harbor. You can see all the boats there as sailors are starting to wrap up the evening, heading off into the city for their leave. But you can still see there's some boats where people are still offloading material or loading it on. It's a busy port, despite how late it is. As you approach the Blushing Mermaid, as you approach, right away you can hear shouting from inside and a bottle smash as you approach this building that is just almost looks like it's made from driftwood. Not that it's a shoddily built, but all the wood is very weathered and almost gray in its coloration. And at this point, the fog has become very thick, just billowing through the streets. And so the tavern itself, this kind of narrow, tall building, you see the bright green lantern that hangs out in front, which is very, very common all throughout Baldur's Gate to signify taverns and inns that are still open for business. They have these tinted glass lanterns that make the light appear green. And waiting there at the front, you see the silhouette of a familiar tiefling woman, broad shoulders, the black ibex horns rising up off of her forehead, her tail seeming to kind of flit about anxiously as you approach, and she's just leaning against the kind of front porch railing that's there as other patrons are smoking and drinking, laughing. You hear some people getting in an argument, and she looks at you as you approach, kind of leans over the railing, a mug in her hand already, and she is not wearing her armor. God, what is she wearing? Claire, you're great with fashion. Do you mind if I ask you? Do you have a visual in mind of what Valor might wear that's not armor?
She has like ruby red skin.
Yes, yes, very like classic tiefling.
Okay.
Yeah, minus the horns or ibex horns.
I'm imagining kind of a high-waisted, kind of army green, thick trousers are obviously built for suffering wear and tear.
Yeah.
With a probably all of this is high quality, gathering that she's had knightly status at one point.
Yeah.
A bright yellow shirt with a kind of really long collar,
Okay.
over which is another as a leather jerkin kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. So that's what you see Valor wearing as she leans forward on the railing with the mug as you trot up, and she grins, revealing her sharp canines at you. Lovelace.
Valor, how are you liking this?
Oh, it's quite the raucous place. I've already warmed up a little inside. Someone trying to get a little too familiar, but
are you bleeding?
Oh, I am. It's all right. It tastes good, honestly. It lets me know I'm alive. So, are we spending our time here? What's the plan?
No. This is a great place. Little ways north, I think.
All right. Just one moment. Slams it down. Walks over to one of the other patrons and slaps him on the back. It was nice to meet you, Steve. Sorry about the nose.
It's all right.
And then she just comes down the steps towards you, cracks her neck. All right, where are we going?
It's a surprise. You'll see when we get there. And I want to lead her towards that druid grove.
Okay, yeah.
In the city.
All right. This will be perfect, right as we're ending the night here. You trot your way across the city, passing by numerous other taverns and inns and restaurants as you're making your way along the waterfront. The occasional ring of a ship bell accents the ever-present murmur of voices and laughter and people moving throughout the streets. And as you approach this far southern side of the city, I know you said north, but it's on the...
Yeah, it was, that was a guess. I had a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, you did. We'll say you said south. That's fine. But you go to the far south side of the city, along the waterfront, and right at the very edge of the city where the wall of Baldur's Gate comes down to the water, you can see there is this hill that kind of rises up to the base of the wall itself. And it's a large open space that is just beautiful. It's covered in trees and lush plants. And you can see that even some of the thickets seem to have grown in such a way to create these passageways, these almost overgrown organic tunnels and tubes for people to move through. And there are numerous paths all throughout. And up at the top of the hill, right at the base of the wall, you see this rocky, craggy outcropping that kind of comes and overhangs out. And there is a tiny little hut built into the face of this rocky boulder. And you see some faint smoke just drifting out, going up into the starlight above. And in the center of the park, there is the thing of note about this park, despite all the other crazy stuff. There is one beautiful, massive tree that grows up from the center of the park that is unlike any tree you have ever seen. And even from this distance, it's clear that there's something special about this tree. And Valor stands there at the base of this park with you, looking at it. Well, I wasn't expecting this. To be honest, it's Beautiful, Lovelace.
Yeah, I think so.
Can you tell me anything about it? Any story you have about this place? Why'd you take me here besides
I wanna
the
see
beauty?
something first. Come up to this tree.
All right. And you wind your way up the hill through the various passageways and other smaller trees, and there even seems to be stumps that have shaped into what appear to be nice seats and benches for people. And as you wind your way up the hill, approaching this massive tree, as you get closer, you can see it's just... there are numerous fireflies dancing around it, just ever present, periodically. And as they light up, you can see that the bark of the tree is a beautiful, deep red color, with periodic strips of what appear to be greens and blues and purples. And the tree rises up with these big, thick roots and branches out, and the leaves are these long, slender, almost like a sickle, as they hang down like a willow. And the scent in the air is wonderful. It's nothing like you've probably ever smelled before. For Olive, it smells like eucalyptus. It's beautiful, kind of, clears your sinuses, almost herby scent. And as you stand at the base of this massive, almost rainbow-colored barked tree with the fireflies dancing around it, you there with Valor looking up at this. It's really, I know I already said it, but it really is just absolutely... All right, what did you want to show me?
This is... I don't like this city. It's loud. It's cramped. It's not built for me. This tree, this just like little corner on the very edge of the Baldur's Gate is like pretty much the only place that reminds me of home. This tree, could you do me a favor and just like put your hand on its trunk?
Sure. She kind of steps up on the little embankment that the tree is growing on and walks up to the trunk, this massive, thick trunk, and just places her hand on it.
So there's a, story that this tree's waiting for someone. And if that someone asks it a question, it'll answer it some way or another. And lots of folks have said that they've been the one who got the answer some way or another. And so who knows the truth of it. But I don't know.
Do you want me to ask the tree a question?
I mean, if you wanna, just, I don't know. You seem so sure of what you're doing in life. I feel like it can be nice sometimes to reorient yourself.
Do you believe the story, Lovelace?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Do I need to say the question out loud?
I mean, who knows, right? Do whatever feels natural to you.
Okay. I will. She turns, hand on the tree, closes her eyes.
I think Lovelace is actually also going to go up next to her, put her hand also on the tree and close her eyes and internalize the question.
Okay. Do you have a question in mind?
Yeah. Why me?
As you both sit there in the dark, with the fireflies periodically lighting your faces up, standing side by side. And you think this in your head, why me? You hear Valor's breathing next to you. And then you hear her, Lovelace. Lovelace, look.
I look.
You open your eyes and you can see where your hand is. The bark seems to be peeling off around your hand.
Oh no.
Revealing something on the other side. And that's where we'll end tonight's session. Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, well, shit.
I should have thought through my question more. I didn't expect that to be the one that got answered.
Okay. So I think we'll end tonight's session there. Claire, did you want to say something? Oh, you're muted.
No, I'm just really happy and excited over here.
Good. Yeah, we'll wait another week to see what happens next. Well, thank you everybody for watching tonight and joining us tonight. Yeah, I guess we'll see you all next week to see what happens. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you all.